Hello, guys. Welcome to the newest episode of the BarnCast. My name is Farhan. Of course, I'm here once again as your host. And joining me today, I've got Jackson.
Hey, I'm back. Yeah, I just got off getting sick, so if I sound like ass, then you'll know why.
Yeah, I mean, when do you not?
Yep.
Anyway.
More like ass.
Of course.
Yeah.
We've got Neale.
Hello.
It's good to hear your voice. It's good to hear both of your voices, actually. It's been a little while.
It's been a little
Yeah. Was Neale not on last week either?
Yeah, but it feels like such a long time ago.
It was.
You know?
Oh.
It was.
It has been a week.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the other guy, he's been here since, like, the last few days. So,
The
hey,
other
Andre,
guy.
how you doing?
Yep, hello.
Hello, Andre. Hi.
Yep, hello.
Hello, is this man?
This
You
is
can hear you?
This is definitely the first time Andre has introduced himself on this podcast.
Yeah, he wasn't being unhelpful before, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
First time round.
We're definitely ready for today's episode, I believe.
Yeah.
We're quite excited, a little overly excited, but you know, it's how we are. Now, guys, we haven't been able to do it in the past couple of episodes, but I can ask you this episode. What have you guys been up to? What have you guys been doing?
Many things.
Yeah, you got a lot to talk about, eh, Jack?
Yeah, I've been away.
Take it away, boss.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think I covered it on the last time I was on the podcast, but I went to the Maitland tournament 2 weeks ago now. And then I made a vlog about that, so you can go check that out. And then I went to Melbourne last weekend, and I made a vlog about that, so you can go check that out. But I basically went down to see the Risky Rollers. That's Dalton, who kindly hosted me and had me over, which was very, very nice. And we had a great time. We played a game, and I took Evil Jack with me, and we played a tournament as well. And then I got the big sick coming back, so that was horrible. And
by the big sick, we mean the
Spicy cough.
the big sick.
The one that we all have to keep our eye out for.
I had avoided up until this point. Thanks, Melbourne.
It's chlamydia.
So I got that. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yes.
see?
Thanks for spoiling it, Neale. Anyway, and I had to sit at home, but I got a lot of painting done. I painted Malgan Ra and Azurman and Fugen.
Oh, Gesundheit.
Yes, all three. Nicely finished. So I only have Karandras left to go out of the Phoenix Lords.
There you go. Good progress. Good work.
Thank you. Yeah.
Neale,
Yes.
what's been on the paint table, my guy?
On the paint table, a big night. Finished another night. And now
Another one?
I'm now looking
not
at
the old man?
That's the old man. And now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 knights sitting in front of me.
Wait,
what?
where did these knights just come from?
He grew.
So we had
Well.
You got some explaining to do, sir.
the channel has a wonderful benefactor and participant called Jimmy, and these are Jimmy's knights.
Oh.
And
Yes.
so far,
Wait a second.
so
The ones
far,
that I might have been entrusted to paint, and I got halfway through, and then I got the big sick, and nights were coming up, and Neale kind of volunteered to take them off my hands.
Oh, no.
Horning
Was
them
that a
off.
volunteer, Neale?
Yeah, I volunteered. I just figured let's get them done. Let's get them on the channel.
All right. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Just because Neale says it was okay. I'm keeping an eye on you, sir.
Well, look, yeah, I was painting them for a long time, and they just weren't getting done. There's so many of them. 5 big knights and 4 armigers, and I did all the base coats and everything and started doing details on them, and I was like, no, I just can't do it anymore. So Neale very kindly took them off my hands.
Was it just too ambitious? Like, it was just too much of a project to get done in time?
I was trying to do that, plus all the Eldar stuff, plus tournament things, plus vlogs and videos, plus personal life stuff, and trying to paint 4,000 points of Daughters of Cain before the Sigmar release. So
I see.
It's just too much.
That's
the painter
too much ambition there, my guy.
Yeah, the painter needed to take them off my hands. So sorry, Jimmy, but they'll be better in Neale's hands anyway.
Oh, they're pretty good though. I'm not going to go wild on them. I'm going to get the transfers on them, get a couple of sneaky little things to make stuff look good done. And then and this is all like super low overhead stuff. So it sounds like I'm going to be doing a lot, but I'm going to be making my life as easy as humanly possible to get these on the table.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I mean, Neale, I think your level of that is like everyone else's level of I've given it my best shot.
Yeah.
So I reckon you're gonna nail them, and I look forward to seeing them in the channel. Honestly,
we have to get some painting stuff on channel, some tutorial stuff. Jack,
We do.
At some point.
that sounds like a great idea.
We absolutely do.
Yeah, man.
What about Andre?
I'd love to have some
what's-
painting toots.
What's Andre been doing?
Huh? What am I doing? Absolute jack, mate. Nothing. I look at my models in this lovely decoration in my room, and I just see all these white models, just plain as can be, and I think, yeah, good enough, mate. Good stuff. There's 2 payments. Yeah,
Yep.
True.
just
You
like
did some
SpongeBob
Sylvaneth.
with the Krabby Patty.
You
One
did
good
some
Krabby
Sylvaneth
Patty.
recently
Andre-
as well.
Andre, you're a big fat liar.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
How has your Sylvanet been based over this whole time, man? Someone's been basing his models.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. And then sending photos of them through his account to our messenger
Yeah.
chat.
But that was
literally have been showing us progress pics of your Sylvanet.
I won't lie, I genuinely forgot. I was looking at my
You, our audience, now
Looking
knows
at
you
them,
as the liar
literally,
you are.
like
Oh, that's
looking at them
fine.
in the
I'll
cabinet and he
accept
forgot.
that. Big stinky liar. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Farhan?
I'll just do the Homer Simpson and like merge with the leaves and disappear.
Now,
Accurate.
I
for
still
Sylvaneth.
have that Troglodon on my shelf that I've
Yep.
pulled off. I've done a bit of painting on him. And kind of, I've given it a bit of a pause. I have a pretty funny story, actually.
Uh-oh, here we
Ryan,
go.
who was on the podcast last episode,
Yep.
he and I split the Genestealer Occult Adeptus Custodes box before it came out. We pre-ordered it on a another online site, not the GW Direct site, and it arrived like last week
Okay.
after 6 months
Okay.
A
of
modest
transit. Yeah, you know. And so I've actually been building some Sisters of Silence and my Blade Champion.
Ooh.
So basically, you're a liar and an oath breaker.
I am nothing of the sort, sir. I have not painted another model since my Seraphon, and I will continue to work on it.
Okay. Well, I see how it is.
Hey, man, we gotta find our hobby. We gotta find a little bit of variety.
Yeah.
I'm not painting anything else. That Seraphon guy, he's literally the only guy sitting on my desk right in front of me right now. He's looking at me, a little bit broken. I did break his little stuff, but I will fix him. I will paint him up, and I will finish 2,000 points of Seraphon before I move on.
Yeah, okay. Well, you might need to because I think Anthony is like attacking us to go to some Sigmar tournaments.
Oh yes. We've been getting a lot of messages from him through our little shared chats, and he's very excited to do more Sigmar related stuff. And I've seen you guys go on like these tournaments recently as well, and as a man who does not have an army with 2,000 points fully painted, ready to go, I do feel inclined to paint one up.
Yeah. Let's go.
You
So,
sucker.
Let's
You dumb dummy dumb.
yeah, look at me, the big dummy head who wants a painted army.
Look, he watched the
Um,
vlogs and he was like, I gotta go to one of these tournaments, man. I'm itchy
Yeah,
for
man.
one.
I
Hell
gotta go
yeah.
to the tournaments to make sure your camera's in focus.
Yeah. Hey, look, all right, it's hard, okay?
Hey, it
No
is.
one else
It is
is
hard.
there helping me.
It is hard to film stuff when it's just you carrying all your stuff and looking after yourself. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're still having to go there and do all the
Honestly,
stuff.
For that Maitland
and film
tournament,
yourself.
I reckon I did really well because I was filming it like the first time that I ever really vlogged something like a tournament as well. And I played 3 games in a day and still vlogged the whole experience. I reckon that was killer.
Let's move on to our first topic, guys. The kin.
the
The
king.
Leagues of Votan.
The thick
They're
man.
back.
The little boys.
Now, can I get one of you guys to explain what this article discussed because I have
I can do it.
opinions.
I haven't read it once, but I can explain it to you off the back of my hand.
Sure, I want to hear what he says.
Space short people, right? They left
Okay,
the
sure.
Imperium and went, you know what's good? Me, but just me again and again. Just cloning myself endlessly. And then we just got shorter and bulkier, and then we're like, you know what's good? More muscles on me. So I'll just do it again. And then they became clone squats that are disappointing in every regard.
I'm so horrified by the accuracy of that. Yeah, you just about nailed it.
Yeah. So,
A big robot that cries out 42 every time they ask it a question.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
The meaning of life.
Yeah.
I mean, they are basically what you get if you take Rick and Morty and put them into the one body.
Disappointment, guaranteed.
Look, man, they're clones. They're an army of clones. They're a race of clones that obviously mix up their gene pool based off of how many like donor genetic samples they have from the original squats, and they mix them together and make more squats.
It says that they come before. What does it say? Pre-Imperial Terror.
Yeah. So that's like the original squats. It's the same race, but obviously over the tens and tens of thousands of years, they've become genetically
odd.
Like
weird.
I think it's
the clone skines.
Well, let's I think we need to explore this, right? So they're all clones of each other. Do they breed any other way? Or is it all clones?
Dude, it sounds like from the article that they don't.
So it does. It says this is no race of identical clones.
Yeah,
the clone
because they mix it up.
Produced as a species of denser bones and muscles. Blah 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 blah.
You could totally grab like all these genetic materials in like a test tube and have an army of test tube babies, and I feel like that's what we're getting. And
I think we're exploring hitherto unforeseen parts of the 40k lore. In basically, they're hillbillies. They go into the mountains and they come out with a bunch of brothers and sisters they didn't have before and some rocks.
They all have southern accents as well.
This is horrifying because that's exactly how it feels. Like, I mean, like, I love dwarves, right? I love the aesthetic. I love the whole, like, technologically advanced. I thought that was awesome. But there's just something about how they're just clones. It just puts me off. So I think I might be off the hype train for this one, guys.
It kind of lacks a bit of flavor if they're clones, right?
It just feels too sterile, dare I say? Like, it feels like they're leaning too hard into sci-fi and not enough into that science fantasy, which I feel like 40k hits really well in that groove. I mean, Eldar are very clearly elves. Obviously, the humans are humans, but, like, you're looking at Space Marines, they're very clearly, like, your quote-unquote knights, paladins,
orcs.
That kind of stuff. Orcs. Yeah.
Oh,
man,
right.
Easy.
Yeah.
It fits that kind of, like,
I wanted to hear Jack argue that humans are orcs for some reason.
Yeah, they're tall. They're tall and strong and dumb and green. They're green, right? So,
like,
they're orcs.
Well, one of the things that I thought was really, really good about 40k, or like something that really brought me into the hobby very early on, was the fact that it felt like that fantasy setting put in a different world, in a different perspective. Because it was, right? It was, hey guys, this is Warhammer Fantasy in the future.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this is too much on the sci-fi and not enough in the science fantasy.
They needed to lean more into the hillbilly history of the dwarves. If you take a look at the old squat models on their bikes and their trikes and their tin can weaponry and their little caps, They were hillbillies. They should still be hillbillies.
The sci-fi, not the sci-fi.
I mean, look, guys, the best example is like the third image in that like vertical 3 portrait thing.
The lady. Is that a lady?
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it a lady though?
Looks like a lady.
It's
so
an abhuman. It's so horrifying. Like it's not to say that like female dwarfs as an idea are like horrifying. I just think that the depiction is just like it looks like a mutant.
It's a little people under the stairs.
Yeah, it's a bit too gremlin-y. Not enough.
She looks
dwarf.
like she handles dishes in like a Victorian estate. No? She looks like an old maid, like from the lips and stuff that's like old Victorian times.
I cannot unsee it.
It's that
Right?
or the guy you owe rent money to.
Like a really old.
He's going to
old,
break your
lady.
kneecaps.
Where's my money?
Yeah, welcome to the 41st Millennium's Danny DeVito right there.
Yeah.
It's just aesthetically they were hitting the mark until they weren't, and I feel like in a like later topic, I want to talk about them hitting the mark when it comes to dwarfs.
Farhan, they're going to be hitting the mark until they release the box set, which is like $400 for a unit of 5 dudes.
Yep.
And then everyone's going to be like,
yep.
no.
But this is what I'm saying, right? I feel like this article actually has put me off a bit. I'll have to wait and see, like, obviously the other models, the rest of the range, how they're going to go with their aesthetic. But I think I'm out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's fair enough anyway. You have loads of what are they called? The lizards to paint. So
My Seraphon?
yeah,
My lizard
that's the
men?
one. The lizard men.
Yeah, I mean, I got plenty to work on. It's just,
Can always
it'd be
have
nice
more.
to have dwarves in my 40K.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next topic. Let's actually move directly into what I was going to say, which is in Necromunda.
Yes.
Ooh.
Dudes, why are they getting squats better, like done better in Necromunda than like in proper 40K? In my opinion, of course.
We're talking about this little dreadnought looking bowly thing, right?
Yeah, we're talking about that combined into the idea of these prospectors.
What is it
the
called?
squad prospectors.
The
It's called
Vertigen Exodriller?
Vartijon Exodriller.
Weird.
But
It
look
looks
at
like
it,
a bowling
man.
ball.
So I got
It does.
I got a question.
Oh.
I got a question.
Yes, Neale. Yeah.
And this goes to the theme of today's topic. Are his legs supposed to be in the legs of the Exodriller? Like, do his...
Absolutely not.
Definitely not.
Oh, come on. I think they are.
No. His legs are not
No way.
swaying that far apart. Like,
Those
he
are some
will
long
die.
legs for a squat, I gotta say.
I think his feet are... So you think he's balled up, like, just like tucked
I
together?
think he's
I reckon
actually
he's-
as tall as he looks because you can see the 2 little bumps that kind of make 2 eyes and a smiley face at the bottom. And I think that's his feet.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's sitting in there and like operating like little gizmos and buttons and stuff. And like
Yeah,
his head is
agreed.
just the only thing
I'm
outside.
with Farhan, yeah.
I think he's got a very wide stance.
I like to think he's
He's-
just tiny.
Sumo dancing in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And what? His legs only go down to the robot's knees.
Yeah, and he's got a little codpiece. And you'll never unsee that
That's why
again.
it's smiling. Yeah.
Andre, I can never unsee the smiling cod piece.
Yeah.
Because like there's like the 2 little eyes things on his like in the first like the second rib after the main plate, and then
Yep.
the ribbing on the bottom of the third plate.
Yeah, this
That
bicycle has lots
totally
of faces.
looks like the sloth from Zootopia.
It
Smiling
really
at me.
does.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at him. How happy
So
he
like
is.
very very
But
like
guys,
drowsy
they
eyes.
got big old hammers, they've got big armor, and they look like they're just there to dig and get more minerals and all this stuff. This is it.
Yeah, this is good. I like it.
This is what I want. This is what I want out of my squats. Why do they gotta make them
wonder-
clone? Why
Are
do they
they-
gotta make them clones?
Gonna bring that into 40K, or is that only in?
That's Necromunda.
This is a Necromunda
Necromunda.
model, man.
Yeah, but you reckon that it's going to be Necromunda only.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be like the
100%.
Ambots. Do you remember the Ambots?
Mm-hmm. That is so cool.
That's lame. I would have liked to see them get something in 40k.
Look, they'll have some sort of proper war dreadnought for squats in 40k.
I'm just trying to imagine what stats would be for 40k for that thing.
I mean, for this thing? Yeah. I feel like you're going to end up seeing a Votann one with less tubes and less Imperium-looking weaponry. Because, this thing has, obviously the standard-looking heavy flamer kind of thing going on in that other hand.
Does it? I mean, it looks kind of like Admech-like, I guess.
Yeah. You'd see it very much so in the Imperium. But I feel like you're going to end up seeing the Leagues of Votann stuff, and it's going to be, kind of like that, but more futuristic. I shudder to think if whether or not they're gonna make their dreadnoughts fly.
Fly.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, they could.
We
have hover bikes.
What do you think it looks like from behind? What do you think its booty looks like?
I think that's
Neale,
the back
stop.
and the front.
Stop. Neale, stop.
No, I want to know.
Yeah, it's for his Warhammer OnlyFans.
Bad Neale.
I want to know if it has thick booty.
Neale,
It's got 2 cheeks
we're gonna
of
bunk you, man.
iron.
Calm down.
2 iron cheeks.
Mm.
Buns of steel.
I think it's time to move on
Yes,
the topic of buns of steel. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. All right. I don't know why this is the horny pod, but
Neale
Moving
has
on.
nothing to do with me, man. I didn't do anything. It's
Yeah.
all Neale.
all right. You guys are scaring me almost as much as these guys should be. Time for some
Yes.
jump scares. There's the Night Haunt, man. The Night Haunt have a new rule coming in with the new book, which is all about terror.
I just want to
Terror?
compliment you. I want to compliment
Yes.
you on that segue.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. If you have an if they have an unmodified charge roll of an 8 or above, I believe, you can. No. It's if you have a charge roll and you get in, depending on your charge roll, you get some stacking buffs.
Yeah.
Which I think is wicked, because it reminds me of Lord of the Rings when the ghosts come out of the mountain and attack the ships.
It's very cool.
The what?
The
They
ships.
come out of the mountains to attack the ships.
Oh, ships. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yep.
But
I'm with
I
you.
reckon it's wicked.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's just this is just some good abilities that they definitely need. I'm interested to see the new book is out, or is it in pre-orders? Jackson, do you know?
It's pre-order.
I have no idea.
Okay, so the new book, because it's alongside the Daughters of Cain book.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's on pre-order now. But I'm interested to see if there's anything else they've done in terms of damage and wounds. Because Night Haunt, I feel suffer in terms of everything being 1 or 2 wounds and not doing enough damage.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see the Waves of Terror. I'm really glad to see that they're giving them all these stacking buffs and talking about the fact that they're supposed to be scary. I mean, they are ghosts, right? The spirits of the damned coming out and attacking you. They should
Spooky.
feel scary.
Yeah. I like the fact that they get -1 to hit and then -1. Well, I mean, they make an enemy -1 to hit and then -1 to their save and then fight last. That's pretty insane.
It's some good stuff.
Pretty cool.
It's real nice. Yeah, no, I feel the buffs are just really, really strong, and they're really good. And the fact that it's army wide is that's what you want to see. I just hope that it follows up with your army being able to actually do damage, because that's the kicker, is when you're still getting into combat and not doing enough damage. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
think
like the fact that it's unique. It's so unique. Nothing else goes off charge rolls, and if it does, it's if you make a charge, you just deal mortal wounds or something like that.
But I think
So,
this
this is
also
cool.
this also suits a kind of a horde kind of strategy where you can get multiple units in to charge on the same enemy unit, because it will allow you then to stack these. And I think that's when it will really make a difference. If you can apply a couple of fight last effects and also a couple of save roll -1 effects, then all of a sudden you are really in with a shot.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I feel like this needs to be added with a little bit of something else. And they do have some extra stuff. Obviously, they only had, thanks to, I think it was a white dwarf, they had two the two sub-allegiance. And this book will finally give Nighthaunt like a bunch of sub-allegiances to choose from. But as far as I'm seeing, it's still a bit lacking on damage, and I just want to see how it all plays out.
I think it's going to be more so about you're locking your opponent, because you've got the whole thing about like you're really crippling them through the charge, and then with the Grieving Legion there, backup was the fact that if you have a unit with over 10 models, the opponent can't retreat, so you've trapped them, and it's probably going to be about like locking them and outmaneuvering.
Yeah, it also looks like with this Wave of Terror table, you only get to apply one of the effects, even though that you could roll like a 10+, you can only apply Shriek, Stun, or Petrify. You can't do all three. So it looks like if you have 3 units or 4 units or 5 units, whatever, all charge into one unit and completely obliterate that unit. So you're like, you want to basically just target one and then obliterate it.
Yeah.
Really spookify it to death.
And that really goes well with their teleporting shenanigans that looks like they're getting as well. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Quite interesting at that part.
I'm intrigued to see how they'll play compared to the other armies, because I don't think there's a lot of other armies right now that play like this at all. It'd be a good twist on the game.
A lot of the other armies I think are just focused on defense, aren't they, at the moment? Defense and shooting. These guys look like very fast, teleport, charge, obliterate a unit, and then leave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're kind of like an alternate take towards the Sylvaneth mentality of being able to teleport around, but you're more you're catered towards being a lot more aggressive.
Yeah. Sylvaneth, I think, teleport and then sit in a spot and become tanky.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys like teleport and then roar at people and charge and scream.
Yeah.
100%, man. 100%. Let's move on, because we actually have a ton of stuff to talk about. Funny enough, it'll probably take the rest of the pod because there's a lot of them to talk about. I wanted to talk to you guys about Horus Heresy. No, I know none of us actually play it here, but I know I'm pretty keen on playing. Obviously posted based off of the price, but
sorry, Farhan.
I'm actually pretty keen on trying out the rule set.
Love you. You're the best.
And what they've done over this past week, or since we've recorded, is they've been successively releasing rules and information on each of the legions during the Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to run through them with you guys. I know that Horus Heresy is based off of 7th edition 40k. So, Jackson, you might have a bit more understanding on that. But, obviously it's been ages.
It's been 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But I feel like you'll have more grounding to tell us about if I am a bit off on any of my ideas. Okay. But I wanted to run through the chapters that they got with you, or the legions, I should say.
Sure.
Presumably next episode we'll have some of the other ones, but there's a lot of rules for all of these Space Marines, and I think it's really, really good because all of a sudden these legions are feeling really nice and unique. Yeah.
Well, you would want that, because otherwise it's going to be a pretty boring game system. If everyone's playing the same models and they don't get new rules, it'd be very boring.
Well, I'd assume that it's like that's the main challenge for Horus Heresy, isn't it? Like, how do we make a bunch of Space Marines fighting each other unique and interesting and dynamic?
Yeah.
And yeah, let's have a look through their rules and let's have a little chat about it, guys.
All right.
They've been doing it in order, which I do appreciate. I do like it when they do legions from 1 upwards. And so let's start at the beginning. First one we're going with is the Dark Angels. Now, from what I understand of the rules, as a layman who actually completely skipped 7th edition because circumstances, Dark Angels are getting rules based off of which, you want to say it with me, Neale? Hexagrammatoton. Yes. Based off of those, which are, of course, your Stormwing, Deathwing, Ravenwing, Dreadwing, Ironwing, and the Salamander Wing. I mean, the Fire Wing. Guys, I really like this because it feels like the 40K book, like the 40K like supplement for Dark Angels, kind of rewinded back, where you can run very specialized versions of the Dark Angels. I mean, like, looking at the way that their rules kind of work is, if you're going with like a Stormwing, for example, you'll have like a +1 to hit for using those kind of like the weapons that Stormwing uses more, which is like bolters, combi bolters, that kind of stuff. I think this is really, really good. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys like think?
It looks similar to the 40K stuff for Dark Angels, but you get a lot more. Like, it's very it's unique for each subtype of Dark Angels, whereas 40K only has the 3, and I don't think that they differentiate a lot. The units themselves differentiate, but the rules don't as much.
Do you reckon that we're gonna see in Horus Heresy, granted if this system takes off as Games Workshop wants it to, that we're gonna see like really, really different looking Dark Angels armies? Because like I would love to see on the table, because that just makes it feel like there's even more armies in the game, right? You have a Deathwing army and you can face it with a Ravenwing army or the Stormwing army, obviously.
I don't know how it's going to work with the hexagrammaton, whatever it's called, in the sense that do you need to have an entire like army of one, or can you have like one unit for each type all in one army?
I reckon you could do each of them, because isn't there like green wings, or what do you call them? It's time like this when you feel like
green wing, fire wing, whatever they're called.
So like
I have no idea.
they had like the regular Dark Angel, so I assume you'd have the ability to mix. Actually, they do have a army wide ability as well, which makes you do a leadership test. From what I understand, this is like the old school leadership, right? The 2d6, get lower than your leadership number.
Yeah, this is similar to the Deathwing stuff at the moment. Currently in Deathwing, if you need to, in 40k, if you want to fall back, you have to take a leadership test.
I see.
Yeah.
But this one's
similar,
kind of given to all of them.
I don't remember enough of 7th edition to, I think, understand as much as I want to, particularly the reactions, because it's saying in a lot of these, like this advanced reaction may be used once per battle. I don't even think there were reactions. I think those are a new thing, because I don't remember reactions at all in 7th edition. I don't remember
reactions either. Obviously not from 7th, but just before that. Yeah. But I feel like it seems like a new mechanic, if anything. Neale, I actually wanted to talk to you more in general about this, because obviously Mr. Painter, man, they have been doing how to paints for all of the different Horus Heresy versions of these legions.
Yes.
And I wanted your 2 cents about like how these armies are kind of looking. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to have a look at these articles, but there's a lot of black and a lot of gray.
There is a lot of drabness. Though the purple they chose for the Emperor's Children is also it's a little bit brighter than I thought they would go. And when you take a look at it en masse, it almost looks pink. So
Yeah, it's like a magenta-y purple. And it really pops, which is nice, but also
it's very purple. It's not a royal purple either. It's too bright to be that. Andre?
I was going to say, Andre, you reckon they just took the same video and just changed the hue of the video?
Yeah. I really do
They're
think
all the same models.
all of it is pretty much just that. Which is fine,
Yeah.
because at least you get to see them with just the general colour slapped on. So you can know
Yeah.
how your army will look at a glance.
yeah, you get like
It
the general
reminds me of
aesthetic.
the old Space Marine Painter app on the internet. Have you guys ever used that? There's a Space Marine Painter app where you literally just color in panels of Space Marine.
No.
Dawn of War 2, my
It's-
friend.
Yeah, man.
Dawn of War
Pretty
2.
Pretty similar to this.
Yeah, you use the Dawn of War army painter. That's where it's
Yeah.
at.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah. No, I mean like based off of the way that all of these guys kind of look, they're all kind of looking a bit the same, and a bit drab. I will say, Entree, your white scars pop, in the new colors, because like I don't know if you guys have seen the kind of freehanding stuff that they've done on them.
Yeah, doing loads of like red diamond pointy freehand stuff on their legs and arms.
That's
and stuff.
not freehand. Those are transfers.
Those are transfers.
Yep.
But what
Oh,
about on his
man.
leg?
The right leg is definitely a paint.
Yeah,
obviously.
the right leg's painted,
But-
but the symbol that's on his knee is a transfer. Same with the one on the pole.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Yeah, that
cool.
doesn't surprise me.
I mean,
they're
they
really
look
nice
good.
transfers.
Yeah, because that's a lot of detail, and I'm glad to see like more personality out of these models. I know, like looking at the old Forge World ones, they looked fairly
Generic.
generic, yeah. But these guys, even though they're the same kit, they're doing a lot of work to make you really personalize your Space Marine Legion. Actually, let's move on to the obviously the next Legion, and then along the Conga line is the Emperor's Children. Before we actually talk about the rules a little bit, let's have a look at Lucius. They announced Lucius.
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
model.
Yes.
I
Now-
don't know. I don't know how I feel about his face.
Why are his two swords different?
One's
Got two
a
different
special sword.
One's
Yeah,
a sword
one's
from
the
Smash.
Emperor's.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was stolen in one of the first. Was it the very first Heresy book? Or was-
I do believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
The
Who did he steal it from?
no. His boss stole it.
Yeah.
It was in
Wow.
Fulgrim's book. And
Yeah.
Fulgrim took
Oh,
it
yeah.
from the shrine.
Yeah. Was it?
Oh, it's
no,
that
it was,
one, the lair,
Yeah,
the
it's the
lair
lair-
blade.
Yeah. Wait, was it?
Yeah.
Was it a shrine? I thought it was
Yeah.
like a. It was a museum.
There was a.
Wasn't it a
No,
it was a
museum?
Slanesh- Slaneshi shrine.
Slanesh shrine. On his
And
So-
what Xenos? What
Ah,
Xenos
that's
blade
right,
is?
that's
Is
right.
that Necron? Is
No,
it
no,
a
no,
Necron
no.
blade or an
So-
Elgar blade?
These
Nephilim.
in the Horus Heresy. Yeah, in the Horus Heresy, you end up having like a lot of. There's so many more Xenos races in the Horus Heresy period than 40k, because the Great Crusade happens and they're literally going out into the universe and killing all of the aliens that used to live there. So you end up seeing so many different alien races, and the Lair is one of them, who are all like Slaneshi worshippers and stuff. The one thing I find really interesting about Lucius is obviously lore-wise, he's in a legion full of people who are becoming like noise marines and like
Yeah.
incredibly insane Slanesh worshipping space marines, and his like devotion to that is his ability to control himself and focus it all on being the best swordsman, like martially, of any of the marines.
So what you're saying is he's basically just hanging around in his cabin, just trying to learn sword skills silently, and everyone else is like listening to really loud rock music, and he's
Yeah.
just chilling there,
Everything you
telling
said
them
is
to
basically-
shut
correct
up.
except in the training room.
In
Yeah,
the training
yeah.
room. In the
No,
training
no,
room.
no. He's the guy who's like, there's a picture of him and he's saying, while you were becoming noise marines, I was studying the blade.
Yep,
That's
that's
it.
exactly it.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think his
I love
face
how they
was-
depicted the.
Oh, I was
You
just
think?
going to say, I feel like his face should have had a handsomer look about it, because that's the whole thing about them, is the fact that they're all really quite stunning to look at. But then his thing is he scarred himself as well, so you'd have that conflict. But they just
It was
gave
the
him
extra
gun.
special thing. Yeah, they gave him scarred generic bald man.
Yeah.
But I mean, they did the same thing with what's his name?
He looks like Mark
Soul
Strong.
Tarvitz.
You know the
I have-
guy from Kingsman? The bald guy who like trains
Yes.
them? He's Merlin?
Yes.
Mark
Merlin.
Strong. He looks exactly like that, doesn't he?
I cannot unsee that.
He does look a lot.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. Spot on.
But I bring him up because I wanted to talk to you guys about the possible kit bash. Because as you guys know, Lucius the Eternal is really old.
Well, Lucius the Eternal, I don't think that you would kit bash him out of this guy. He's got whips.
Well, you just take like a whip or greens. Like, sure, you can green stuff a whip out of that and then replace the layer blade with it.
I guess
Or-
so.
Why did he even start using
Because
the
it's
whip?
so he picks up the whip later on. I can't remember what triggers it actually, but he does replace it with that. And there's a very crux moment where he kind of dies and then
Again.
takes over the body of someone else.
Oh.
And that's why he's eternal, right? Is every time he dies, he gets like he basically takes over another Marine's body and becomes him, and replaces his face with his.
Yeah, he's like
Um,
Apocalypse from X-Men. X-Men. Whatever his name is. X-Men Apocalypse?
from Apocalypse from X-Men
We don't
Apocalypse
talk
fame.
about that.
X-Man.
Yeah. He is X-Man.
Why is
Yeah.
he struggling so much to hold up his pants?
What pants?
He's
Is he?
he's got like six
Oh,
sets
so
of
like
braces.
6 belts.
Look,
Yeah.
in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, we've forgotten how to hold pants up.
No,
Sometimes
It's
your
nothing
third
like
leg
that.
pushes
He's
them
trying to
down.
master the blade. He's trying to master the blade, and all the other noise marines that are trying to get into his pants keep backing him. So he's just trying to like
just
hold them up so
protecting.
he can
It's like-
master the blade.
Guys, come on. Hands off.
Yeah.
Get pants
Stop
on.
backing me, bro. I gotta master the blade.
Guys,
Yeah, man.
I need
Not
my
that blade.
pants. Please.
All right.
Stop
Let's
teasing.
let's have a little chat about their rules because
That was around
Um,
that time. It wasn't me. Look,
hey,
Mr.
that's fine.
Like,
If I do it, it's
blaming
fine.
everyone. Okay.
I feel like I can't possibly edit all of them out, so there's gonna be some of it in it. Guys, so anyways, like they have the rule which literally gives them one step higher in initiative, which firstly makes me think that they're gonna make initiative a little bit less Gumby, like it used to be, with like the straight up number. I think they're gonna make it like tiers. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have like fast, slow, like
Well, that's
super
even
quick.
worse. That's even worse than having categories because it's basically categories just with less categories.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
What do you mean?
That being said, like I think it is a good idea to have initiative in the game. It is one of those things that I forget that I miss about the old systems.
I think if anything, the whole system is literally built around one stat line, which is just Marines. So you're going to need to really differentiate them to make them actually any different to each other. Like if you took rules from 40k, they would literally all be like T4, 2 wounds, and the same initiative, whatever.
when the
So-
Marine book was good in 40k, that was the case.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if the whole game system is just that model, you're going to have to make it so that some are like initiative 8 and some are like initiative 2.
Yeah, and like that's what this does, right? Like it moves the initiative up one. Like when you charge with the Emperor's Children, which completely leads into what they are, because Slaanesh stuff always moves faster. They also have that like joint in with like an increase in weapon skill, which I think is also really good because just like we were talking about Lucius, like it's all swords and accuracy and being the best. And I think that's a really good flavorful rule set to add on top of this army to make them a bit different from their brothers.
Is Fulgrim initiative 10? He better be initiative 10.
I don't know, but I reckon he's pretty high up in his initiative.
The Avatar of Cain used to be initiative 10. You know that?
That's
he
a
used
quick
to literally
Avatar.
strike faster than anything else in the game.
And as we all know, Fulgrim did kill an Avatar of Cain.
With his bare hands,
look,
choking it out.
So did Connor's Fire Warriors about 400 times, but I'm not complaining, okay?
Definitely not a play.
Definitely not a complaint, guys. Move on. All right.
Yeah.
Next up is let's talk Iron Warriors, because like they've got their own gun. Andre, I don't know about you. Me and you have been listening to and like reading the Horus Heresy books.
Yeah.
Since when did they have their own gun?
I don't know. I genuinely don't understand what is happening.
It's firing shrapnel as well.
They shoot shrapnel. I mean, razor sharp shrapnel bits.
That doesn't sound really like a siege tactic, but all right.
That just sounds like, hey guys, we need to make these guys special. What do we do?
Yeah, fill their guns with scrap metal. Let's go.
Weren't they all about?
like-
Well, they probably have a lot of metal lying around.
Neale, weren't they
yes?
all about efficiency in the books?
They're
kind of like
So-
martial efficiency and building stuff. Nice.
They used to be really, really good. Think of them as like a combination between the Imperial Fists and the Ultramarines, as they were tactically very sound and also very good at making fortifications. But they kept getting dragged over and over and over again into these meat grinder sieges where the only option ended up being just throwing waves after wave of themselves until the fortress crumbled. They're actually masters of siegecraft and stuff, and so they have a rule which is like rack and ruin, which is based off of attacking vehicles and buildings and dreadnoughts, which makes sense. It's +1 to their strength when they attack, that kind of thing. That makes sense. But it feels like the rules makers for the shrapnel guns, if I'm wrong, obviously in the comments, let me know. But the shrapnel weapon sounds like someone who's like, oh, these guys they look metal, so they shoot metal.
They got the yellow
I guess so.
hazards on them, so they shoot metal.
I mean,
Obviously.
isn't everyone technically shooting metal anyway?
Yeah, but like,
but
you know
this
what I
is
mean?
scrap
Like just
metal.
scrappy bits of metal.
Not explosive
I mean, this is-
bombs.
It might just be in the wording of shrapnel. Maybe it's like some sort of like sharpened needles or something. But wouldn't it be called a needle pistol, bolter cannon? It's funky. I don't know. This is the first one that I read that I was like, I get where they're going. I feel like they're running out of
Reminds me of
ideas.
Dark Elder with splinter weapons.
Yeah, kind of.
The blurb there says it's like mainly for like suppression, which makes some sense, but it's still not really.
Ain't
what
nothing
you would
better
be
at
needing
suppression
to
than a
suppress
bolt gun.
wall. So
Yeah.
it's
You don't need to suppress people when they're exploded with a bolt round.
yeah, they kind of
Get bounced in the first few books anyway.
no. If you're talking about
No.
no,
You're talking about Ferrus Manus. That's the Iron Hands.
Ah, I'm thinking wrong
Yeah,
one, don't I?
The
Yeah,
Iron
these
Warriors?
are the Iron Warriors.
Oh, big
These are
difference.
the
Oh my,
grumpy
I'm
boys.
so sorry to mix up
Yeah.
the Iron
Well,
Hands and the
it's
Iron
really
Warriors.
different.
distinctly different. They both have
Yep.
iron in the name, so that should already tell you they're different.
Yeah, please. All the Iron Hand players out there are like, wow. And all the Iron Warrior players are really sad.
Yeah, they're all subscribing right now.
Yeah,
Good
they're all
on you.
unsubscribing. They're like, how
Get
dare
outta
they
here.
Neale, what have you done?
trash talk our shrapnel
All
weapons
three
and
of
then
you,
call us the Iron Hands.
fuck off.
All right. Andre,
Yes,
I did not read this specifically because you
I
have to
did.
tell me what these
I
guys
read
do.
it, and the right.
What do the White Scars do?
They can make all of the Outrider stuff, so like bikes and fast attacking units into troops, which is really good. 'cause
What?
That's what you want.
Yeah,
40K, but you
absolutely.
get it.
Good.
30K, I'll take
Yep.
it. And then their Born in the Saddle thing is a 4-up invuln against all wounds inflicted by failed terrain tests. So
That's fair enough. Because dangerous terrain was a thing back in the day,
Yeah.
right? Like it was everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, it's literally you move across it and roll a 1 and you die. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun, everyone.
But if that's how it worked before, then it's definitely changing because this is a 4-up invuln for that. So it's
probably like you roll a 1 and then you roll a 4+ and you're fine.
I feel like that's too many steps then. That's just ridiculous. It's probably going to be like something like, I don't know, like a 3-up you take away. Or
That's the same thing. That's exactly the same thing as rolling a 1
literally
taking a wound.
you roll a dice for each your dudes. If you roll a 1, you take a
roll
save.
Twice, Vincent. Twice. All right.
Yes. So I really love this. I'm really glad for you, Andre, because White Scars actually get to be, an army of bike
They
riders.
actually get to be White
They get
Scars.
that.
Unlike your 40k army.
Yeah, the other thing they get as well is all infantry units in the White Scar Brotherhood thing. They all get the outflank special rule, but I don't know what that is.
I believe outflanking is deploying from the sides of the board.
It is, yeah.
So
It's
So they
like
can sneak
strategic
in halfway down
reserves.
the board.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah.
Like the strategic reserve stuff is nowadays with the coming in halfway.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
correct.
But yeah,
So
there's all that.
all your bike dudes are everywhere,
Yep.
and then your infantry dudes.
Oh yeah. And the other thing you get as well is you can make your fast attack bikes and all that elites as well. So you can just absolutely load the board in every way with bikes.
That's just like you look at
Good.
the force organization chart and go, all I see is lightning.
What is your
Yeah.
army like?
Well, that's exactly what you want, right? That's what you want in 40k as well.
Yeah.
If anything, they need to do it in Horus Heresy because everyone else is going to be running Marines. You want all blacks.
Yeah.
I got a question. Does this mean that the box set that's coming out is useless for you?
Yes.
There's not a single bike.
Yep, it's useless in every regard. There's a dreadnought too. We don't like dreadnoughts.
Yeah. Hey, look, you can see the artwork has a painted White Scar dreadnought because you know how much they love to be in dreadnoughts.
Yep.
Wow.
The chapter master
Moving really
has chosen to stay outside of a dreadnought without arms and legs.
Yeah, he's literally in your chapter monastery, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just chilling.
That's so
He
funny.
refused.
The guys were painting up those White Scar 30k models for this thumbnail, and they were
Well-
like, "Why are we doing this?"
You just saved yourself $600.
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
Yep.
Woe is us that we have to spend money on our hobby.
God. Woe is us having hobbies.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
All right, Neale,
Woof.
what do you think of the Space Wolves, my guy? The look, the dark gray compared to the Space Wolves blue.
I do like the dark grey look. I'm a big fan of it.
I like it. I like it better than the 4K.
It is much better than the 40k. But they've punched it up a little bit for the army that they've painted. They've gone very super high contrast. So they go...
This
Yeah.
was painted up by Play on Tabletop.
It was.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking army that they've done. And with the ice claws and all of that theme, it looks really, really nice.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. They also kept a little bit of that blue hue on that photo, which I think is really nice. But I really like the look of 30k Space Wolves specifically because they're not that weirdly icy blue. I just really like this color. I feel like it works with them better.
I think it looks grimdark, but I'm not a fan of dark colors in Warhammer. I like them to be vibrant. And I think I prefer the icy look because it'll make them stand out on the table. Like people who want these and then
Why
paint them
don't you-
grey. It's,
We'll go and paint some Emperor's Children bright purpley pink.
I mean, if I had an Emperor's Children army, I would. But instead I have World Eaters, which I paint bright red.
Oh, but that's wrong,
So-
sir. Horus Heresy, they're white.
Even in that, even in Horus Heresy, I would paint them white happily. They'd be nice and
All
bright.
right. So they've got quite a few rules that they were giving in, guys, and like they showed us a psychic power, which instead of shooting, you can cast a spell. And one of the things that really wanted me to talk about the psychic power is Storm Rod. The way that it was written really felt like a ninth edition, like the way that it's worded. You know how like ninth edition 40K's rulebook is really specific, and like it's worded with a lot of
it's legalese
verbiage. It's legalese, yeah. I feel like that's the direction they're going with Horus Heresy. And look, I think my favorite edition so far has been 8th, and that's mostly because it was just really easy to pick up and play comparatively to like all of the other editions. And I fear with 9th edition and looking at how they're writing the Horus Heresy system, they're going to start going further and further into very complicated legalese language, and they're going to start slowing down the system again.
It is getting a little bit over the top with so many books and things, but I think that they recognize that because with the Octarius stuff, they were getting heaps and heaps and heaps of books, and now that they've toned back a little bit and they're reducing the book count, which I think is good. Like, I mean, Eldar Yunari before had like 6 books. Now they have 1, which is great.
But it's not just the number of books, it's the variety of rules and rules manipulation, stats manipulation, layers and
I think
layers
if you're getting like into the game for the first time, it's pretty hard. But for someone like me, I definitely cannot complain. I love the crazy rules side of the game and thinking about all the different rules and the fact that there's so many rules, no one person can learn them all. So they're always going to be surprised by something, which I think is cool.
I feel like we entered the game, like re-entered the hobby at the right time. Neale, I don't know when you hopped back in as well. Did you hop in at 8th as well?
I hopped back in at 8th, and I really liked 8th a lot.
Yeah. I feel like the three of us got in at the good time. Because, like, people new to the hobby or returning are going to come back and just see another wall of text worth of rulebook.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not so bad. I feel as though it depends on the army that you're playing and also how many people's armies you have to verse. If you're only versing like one friend and you only have the 2 armies to play, then after 1 game, it's confusing. But after 10 games against the same person, you know the models they have, you know the rules, and you basically, you can learn all the base rules very easily. Like you can learn, like if you're playing like Necrons, for example, you'd memorize all of the main traits and all of the protocols and the main stat lines and then and stratagems. And then it's just a matter of choosing different relics and stuff each time, which is cool.
Yeah, I agree. I am glad to see that in this in Horus Heresy, they're still referring to it as Feel No Pain. I don't know why that's just something that they just refuse to talk about in 9th edition. I feel like it's just easier that way, right? Like everyone refers to it as Feel No Pain. Like the Space Wolves, they're getting the Crownbreaker ability. Giving them the 5-up. And
well, this is why I think that loads of people who get introduced to the hobby have someone to introduce them to it. Like, no one really walks into a store and goes, "What's this? I'll just start playing on my own." Surely, everyone that I've ever met has known someone else that has introduced them to it.
Even if you haven't and you're interested, you always end up going to your local like Games Workshop or Warhammer store, and you're like, "Hey, this is Joe, and Joe is the guy who works here, but he's going to run me through my starter game." And that gets you into the game.
And they give you all the lingo and terminology and saying "feel no pain" and "deep strike" and all that stuff, even though it's not written anywhere.
Yeah, I never had that. I never got that starter game from the local judo. And I always showed up and heard like Iron Maiden playing and me being like a 6-year-old self going, "This is crazy."
Yeah, how did you end up getting into the hobby there, Andre?
My mum and dad bought my brother and I the Battle of Macragge box just out of the blue for Christmas one time, and then we kind of just like ham-fisted the models together, and he was just like, "You could have the 2 of it," and I went, "Yes." This is the best. I got the cooler ones. And then we would just, whenever our parents would go to the shops for groceries, they'd go, you can hang out at the Games Workshop if you want. And we'd go, yes, please. Oh my God, that's the best. Thank you, Mom. And then we'd go.
Yep.
And we would just hear the music and we'd go, we can stand at the front door. And that's what we did. That was my whole introduction and my whole time.
I can only imagine your childhood upbringing in black and white. I don't know why.
That is one hell of a
Just-
backstory.
Yeah. It's just raining
Wow.
outside of the Games Workshop store, and you're looking inside, like, we could just stand outside.
It looks so cool.
Man,
so
I was in
cool.
there like all day, every Saturday, Sunday for like 8 hours. My parents would like drop me off and it would be like a daycare service.
Look, I know this is a bit of a tangent,
That sounds
but
like neglect. Like,
Yeah, I mean, do you have a therapist you can
Nah,
talk
man,
to
I
about?
wanted to go.
it doesn't matter if you want it.
I
man.
wanted
That's
to go.
still-
I was hanging out. They were like, you want to play games with us on the weekend? I was like, nah, I'm going to Games Workshop. I'm going to sit in there, use their paints for free. Hell yeah. And just sit and paint all my dudes.
It's
Yeah,
okay,
Matt Jackson, I feel
It's okay. It's okay.
I feel like there's a bit of a curtain we can pull back in that, because we've all kind of lived around each other. Actually, the three of us is a very good example. The three of us have actually lived around each other for a very long time.
Yep.
And we've all collected Warhammer, and we've all played the game in our own way, or painted and built the hobby or whatever.
Yep.
But it was only like 8th edition, really, when we all kind of got to know each other.
Yeah.
Well, you know, different schools and stuff. Why would you ever
but, like,
randomly walk down the street and
this
see
is the
another
weird
person
thing.
go, hey, you play Warhammer?
When we all refer to our local Games Workshop store when we were kids, we're all actually referring to the same store.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. It's crazy how we're all referring to the same store, and we're talking about the same kind of experiences of being, because I was the same. I was like, while Mom went off to do the groceries, I'd be in that store. But somehow, like, we've just never crossed paths through Games Workshop until after the fact. Once we figured out how to play the game and we got really into the hobby, and we're still here.
Well, that's because while you guys were in the Warhammer store, I was studying the blade.
Looks like we got all these
Yeah.
Oh,
He's getting
Neale
busy
the
getting
Eternal.
dacked.
That explains the OnlyFans.
Oh my God. Not that blade. Moving on. We actually have one last Legion for this week. Next time we have a discussion, I really, really hope. How many Legions did they go through this week? They went like, what, 5?
Yep.
You reckon that they're gonna cover about 5 or 6 again?
Probably.
If
there's 6, it makes sense because there's 18, right?
Yeah.
So 3 sets of 6.
I'm
So
not gonna see the Salamander rule for another 2 weeks.
Yep.
My hot take about this is I've seen painted models for so many of the Legions.
Let's just do a quick flashback to when Farhan was like, I like the fact that they're doing it in order.
Yep.
That's fine. Seeing the rules in 2 weeks. Look, I'll wait. I'll see it. Whatever. My main thing is I have not once seen a Salamander model in the new artwork, and not anywhere. They've even done an article.
Farhan, it's not like even if you did have them this week, it's not like we would be using those rules anyway.
Yeah, but it'd be nice
So
to
it's
see.
okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to actually see a green marine, you know?
Green Marine?
Just one
My
green
lean,
marine.
mean green marine. Yeah. Because, like, the last article that I really wanted us to talk about was the fact that they were showing, like, a history of the power armor. But the main bit is that they showed artwork for Blood Angels, Emperor's Children, World Eaters, Iron Warriors, Raven Guard, all of these different guys.
There is
Death Guard.
There is technically a Green Marine there.
That's a lunar wolf.
He's
He's
the
like
son
teal.
of
Horus. He's like teal, but he's still kind of green.
Teal's not Rick
it's like-
Jackson. The grounding.
It's yeah.
There's a guy there with green shoulder panels. He's technically got green on him.
Well,
Right.
you can't argue with that. Farhan, he
Yep.
won
Yeah.
that round.
I can't dispute
Yep.
green shoulder
I'm on
pads.
Jackson's side now. You lose.
I
Yep.
don't know what you're
Right.
talking about.
Thank you.
Actually,
Feels good.
I don't know what you're talking about. I only see red shoulder pads. I
Yeah.
swear.
Nice.
All right. I think we've run our time out, guys. This has been an emotional roller coaster of a pod. I'd like to thank you guys for coming on with me tonight.
You're very well. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure having you guys.
You know it.
I mean, yeah,
I-
a pleasure. Let's
I
call it a
mean,
pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope to be invited back one day.
Maybe one day, Neale. Maybe one day. But I'd like to thank you guys for listening. If you've enjoyed the pod, please check out some of our other ones. Please check out our channel, Barnard Wargaming, for all of the live streams. You get stuck with Jackson's face every single day as he plays a whole bunch of people, including us. Jack, did you have any battle reports or anything that you wanted to shout out?
No, we have our normal streams Thursday, Saturday. Hopefully, we're going to be returning to our regular schedule. But I would say go and check out those vlogs that I made for Melbourne and Maitland. It was a good time.
They're
You should go
blurry,
watch them.
but great fun.
Yes.
Thanks.
If you squint your eyes, you can definitely enjoy them more. But
The audio is good. That's what matters.
they did have good audio. I will give you that.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. Just give us a subscribe if you're interested in what we do. 5 stars on whatever podcasting channel that you prefer. Shout out to you, person on insert podcast channel name here. You're our favorite. I like you the most.
Yeah,
What a guy.
Bill,
And shout out to
my
the,
guy.
Shout out to the
Love you,
members as
Bill.
well.
Bill.
All the members.
Love you.
Surely there's a Bill out there. Bill,
Make sure-
my guy.
Make sure you go onto the Patreon and click on the most expensive option because that's always important. I'm not going to say any benefits because you don't really deserve that. I mean, we deserve the money
Okay.
primarily. Have a great day. Gesundheit.
I guess on that note,
Yeah.
I'll catch you guys in the next one. Sure.
Bye.
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 Bye.